This is Canada. Most people think that America is like Canada's big brother, the one who protects it, looks after it, and runs things. But the real story is very different and far more unsettling. Yes, America's population may be 10 times larger than Canada's. Its military budget may be 15 times bigger. It may possess the world's largest economy. But all of this becomes meaningless in the face of geography, because geography does not care about power, money, or armies. And the truth is this: Canada has 3 geographic advantages capable of bringing America to its knees without firing a single bullet, without starting a single war. Even more striking is the fact that most Canadians are not even aware of how much power they hold in their hands. And that is precisely why they have never used it. Make sure you watch this video until the end, because today you will see North America from a perspective you have never seen before. Let's begin with the most critical resource: water. Canada possesses approximately 20% of the world's total fresh water, more than any other country on Earth. And here is the uncomfortable truth for America. The Great Lakes system, which provides drinking water to around 40 million Americans, is fed through Canadian territory. Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. All of these vast bodies of water are tied directly to Canadian geography. The St. Lawrence Seaway, which carries this water to the Atlantic Ocean, passes through Quebec. The Niagara River lies on the Canadian border. The Detroit River follows the same Canadian line. But this is not just a matter of drinking water. It is far more serious. This water feeds hydroelectric plants that supply electricity to millions of Americans. The same system serves as the primary trade route transporting iron ore from Minnesota to the steel factories of Pennsylvania. So, if Canada ever decided to restrict this flow, America's factories would stop, cities would plunge into darkness, and one of the greatest water crises in U.S. history would begin. And here is what truly terrifies Pentagon planners: America cannot stop it by force. A 5,500-kilometer border runs through wild, unforgiving terrain, land so harsh that Afghanistan would seem flat by comparison. The American industrial heartland depends on the water of a country it can neither control nor conquer. This is the brutal reality of geography. And this is only the beginning. Now let's move to the next power: energy. Canada supplies approximately 20% of America's total electricity, enough to power the entire state of California on its own. This energy comes from massive hydroelectric dams in Quebec and British Columbia, and it flows into the United States through a handful of narrow corridors determined by geography itself. Which means this: Canada could plunge the northeastern United States into complete darkness by shutting down just a few key points. But the true breaking point lies in oil. America is Canada's largest oil supplier. Around 4 million barrels per day flow from Alberta to U.S. refineries. And most of this passes through a single system, the Enbridge pipeline network. If this system were shut down, gas prices would skyrocket overnight, logistics would collapse, industry would freeze, the economy would shake. And the Canadian Shield, a massive granite formation, naturally channels all infrastructure south toward the U.S. border. This is not a choice. It is geography's design. America's energy runs on Canada's decisions. Now we arrive at the quietest yet most strategic region: the Arctic. Climate change is melting the ice, and as it retreats, new trade routes are emerging. The most critical of them, the Northwest Passage, a route connecting the Atlantic and Pacific that passes entirely through Canadian territorial waters. This corridor could become the fastest trade route between Asia and Europe, and Canada holds the key. But trade is only part of the story. Beneath the Arctic lies 13% of the world's undiscovered oil, 30% of its natural gas reserves, and access to most of these resources is possible primarily through Canadian land. As the ice recedes, Canada's power expands. Russia builds bases. China invests billions. America watches. But on this natural chessboard, the most critical squares belong to Canada. Canada's final silent weapon? Minerals. Lithium, cobalt, nickel, rare earth elements, the core materials of electric vehicles, solar panels, and wind turbines. As America transitions towards green energy, its dependence on these minerals intensifies, and China knows it. That is why billions are being invested into Canadian mining projects, purchasing mineral rights, and constructing infrastructure for Arctic shipping routes. And Canada needs no one's permission to sell these resources. So, if someone ever tells you America protects Canada, remember this. Geography tells a very different story. Canada controls America's water, energy, trade routes, and critical minerals, which means America's future rests quietly in Canadian hands. And perhaps Canada itself isn't even fully aware of it. But geography never lies. In the global power game, the one who controls the resources controls the future. America may possess the larger army, but Canada holds a far more dangerous force: the map itself. And now you have seen that map. Canada is not just a friendly neighbor. It is a sleeping giant. And geography always wins.